So tell me about the God piece that you said entered into it later.
Well, it's just like, it just seemed that all of a sudden that when I had started to complain, it's when I was being, it was God was, when the taping started happening. Was when, you know, it was, I pray for you. I'm like, you know what, I don't want you to pray for me because your God and my God are probably two very different gods. And I don't like hateful gods, so you take that and do what you need to do with it.
Do you know what she's alluding to when she said, I'll pray for you, what she meant by that?
Well, she's alluding to the fact that I'm gay and that I'm going to hell.
Okay. Now, what makes you say that? That's what...
Well, because she's made it perfectly clear without saying the words.
Okay.
I've been gay a very long time.
Okay.
I know how people
So you're able to pick up on that.
Yeah.
Have you ever discussed this with her?
It's none of her business.
Okay. And, you know, I think you have a point. It's none of her business. It's your life. And it may be that, but if you're saying that the taping of the praying sort of had something to do with that, then there may be some, I don't know, but there may be something that she's has a negative sort of vibe toward.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely negative.
And you have a negative vibe toward the pitter-patter on the heels and so on. So, and I appreciate the frustration that you're describing.
It's incredibly frustrating.
You're living below someone, you've got kids, they're not controlling them as well as you think you could.
Or not even that I think I could, just they're not controlling them.
They're not controlling them.
End of period.
You see a lack of
That's the
control.
end of the
You see it.
sentence.
You're right.
They're not controlling
They're not
them.
controlling
Period. Nothing to do with me.
Right. Well, there's another piece here. When you spoke to the kid and called them a brat and so on, that to me I think is you trying to contain them a little bit in a way that.
Well, because I figured I would go directly to the source.
Right.
Because the mother is doing nothing.
Right. So you tried talking to the mother, you got no traction.
So I see the kid, I'm like, hey, keep it down, you spoiled brat.
Right.
Slam right back. Sorry.
Let me try something, if you don't mind.
I don't
Can you
mind.
sit on this chair for a second? Okay. Now imagine you're the mother or father of this child who is, let's say, Brad. Okay, let's say you would even agree that they're Brad. But then you've got someone who's a stranger saying to you, here, to your child, keep it down, you brat. What would be the impact on you of hearing a stranger say that?
If it were a stranger, it would be one thing.
Okay.
We have a 5-year relationship with each other.
Okay.
We're not strangers. I was at the baby shower.
Okay.
I've seen the baby. I've held with a baby. We're not strangers. We are not friendly anymore, but we're certainly not strangers. She knows who I am. She knows I'm not dangerous. But since the kids have become a little bit more rambunctious, she's become more God-fearing, if you will.
So let me see.
Probably because she doesn't have any discipline, and the kids are probably climbing the frickin' ceiling. She's got to pray every time so they don't fall off and die.
Let me just take it back 1 second. So, because this is something new that I didn't know before. So you were actually invited to hold the baby at some point, and you had some contact with the same baby that you called a bride.
Yes.
So from your view, that you feel a certain amount of license to speak directly to the child.
Yes. It's not like the child doesn't know who I am.
Okay.
They have to go past my apartment.
Knowing who you are is one thing, but when I asked you about the stranger piece, when I said, hey, what would it be like if a stranger said this? You said, well, it's not really a stranger because I held the baby, I've known the baby for 5 years, we have a relationship. I am not sure, I don't know, that's something to ask. I am not sure that Carol would characterize it the same way. She might, but I'm not sure that she would. So just for the moment, imagine that she didn't. Okay? Imagine that you did not give me a license to speak to your child in that way, and yet I do, you brat. What's the impact in that case on you?
Then I probably would have reacted the way that she did.
Okay. So, well, I appreciate you saying that. So you could sort of say that. I think it might be helpful if we have if I ask her to come back, that's something you say to Carol. And you might also add that you believe you have this permission from her, and discuss what this notion of permission is, because maybe it's true and maybe it's not. And how does that sound to you? Can you do that?
I can do it.
Okay. And then
I'm not a terrible person. I mean, I'm the wronged party here. and yet I'm the one that gets called in. I don't understand that, because she's so hippy-drippy, and yet when something like this happens, well, that's kind of what you're setting the whole life up for.
Yeah. Would you accept the possibility that both of you feel wronged? And maybe both of you were wronged in different ways?
No. No.
Okay, explain, please.
Well, because I have been complaining, and gotten nowhere with it. I have been putting this up with this for years now. It's gotten to the point where I've got to take control of my situation. And unfortunately for her, my situation is her situation, so I've got to take control of it.
Well, you're articulating how you were wronged very well. But she articulated to me, Carol did, that she was wronged by you touching her, pushing her.
She pushed me first.
Right.
In a court of law, because I've done my research,
Okay.
she committed battery against me, and I was acted in self-defense. So if I were to call the police, I could have her arrested. I'm just letting you know. The internet's very good these days.
But I'm speaking about something a little different. I'm talking about who is wrong in the eyes of the law or not. I'm talking about who feels wrong. In my purview, in the mediation.
She started it when it's her wronged part.
Okay.
So she has no right to feel. Well, no, you know what? I can't say that. I can't say that. She has a right to feel anything she wants. But
As you do.
as I do too. But in my mind,
Right.
and in reality, she started it.
Well, in your mind, she started it. She might have a different view. She heard you, in fact, my guess is, you started it because you yelled at her child in an unauthorized way. But that's not here nor there. The issue, from my perch here, from my seat, you feel wrong, and so does Karen. Okay? So what I'm going to do is invite Carol back. And I'm going to maybe suggest you go first. And is that okay?
Sure.
And explain to Carol that when you sat in that seat, and we can talk about, it's okay for me to talk about what we discussed, and describe to her how you felt when I sort of explained that to you and I pointed and yelled at the child and said, you brat, and you didn't give me a license. And let's just start there.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything when I bring Carol back that you would not want me to mention to her, specifically about what we discussed?
No, everything. That's.
Okay. Just fine.
It's all. I mean, it's all out there.
Okay. Fair enough. So let me ask Carol back. Carol?